Welcome back, sports fans, to the Legends Never Die podcast. This is your host, Hunter Frugier, along with our other hosts, Frank, Caleb, Dustin, and Matt. We're all here today. It was a good week, big fight this week, but first we'd like to give a shout-out to our sponsor, Legend Gear and Apparel. They got good quality business products, watches, ties, phone cases, wallets, and customized apparel coming this week, so be on the lookout, and you can get them at legendgear.co and on Instagram and Facebook at Legend Gear and Apparel.
Hey, this is Dustin back with another week of the Legends Never Die podcast. My bold take from this week is I actually just read, it's now my new bold take, John Jones is coming back to the UFC December 29th in Vegas.
Fighting who, Gus?
Speaking of fighting, let's touch up on that McGregor. That's my bold take. The McGregor and Khabib fight was a really good fight, I'd say, for the most part. But I don't think McGregor was ready for that. He didn't look like the same McGregor that we're used to watching.
It was a good fight for Khabib.
Yeah, it was a really good fight for Khabib. Knocked him out. They said he wasn't a striker, and then he put McGregor on his tail with one little punch to the chin. That's all he needed. So, yeah, that's my bold take. And also, I was watching a video earlier. Right before the end of, I think it was round 2, McGregor said, "It's just business. It was just business." He whispered that to Khabib. If none of y'all have seen the video yet,
he started feeling sorry. He started getting a little scared.
It was just business. I swear, crazy.
I like that fight. It didn't go the way I thought, but the fight after the fight was just as exciting as the fight. Khabib jumps out the cage, sprawling like an eagle, jumps on Dylan Dennis, Connor's jiu-jitsu coach. Dennis lands a good right on him, then all hell breaks loose. A couple of Khabib's team jumped the ring and jumped McGregor. McGregor lands a good straight left on one of them, but still got jumped for the most part. But, yeah, the fight was crazy. A lot of other good fights that night. We had Derek Black Beast Lewis out of Houston here fighting Vulcan. He did well, knocked him out in the third round, then had a hilarious press conference after. Very funny. That was a good fight. And then Ferguson and Pettis, that was also a good fight that night. So, UFC 229 altogether, it was a good card. My guy lost, but still a good card. What was your bold take, Matt?
I'm going to have to go with Tom Brady throwing his 500th touchdown to my boy Josh Gordon. I think the most interesting part was after Josh Gordon caught his touchdown, the outro music to go to commercial was Snoop Dogg.
All right, my bold take for the week's going to be LSU. Huge letdown. Played Florida. You come out, Gates wide open, score first drive within 4 minutes, making good play calls. Then you slowed it down a lot. You got a little selfish. The defense was good, but just not good play calls. And you see what happens. We lost. So probably going to be out of the college football playoff unless we beat Georgia this week and beat Alabama and beat Georgia or Florida again in the SEC championship. So chances aren't looking good for our Tigers anymore, but, hey, we'll get a New Year's 6. I really believe we'll get a New Year's 6. And we'll go ahead and jump into MLB Playoffs. We had a good first week. I was 3 of 1. I think everybody else was 2 of 2. I took Astros, Dodgers, and Red Sox, but I did not take the Brewers. Brewers surprised me. They did well. But this week, we'll go ahead and jump right into the first series. I'm going to go Astros, Red Sox. I think it goes 7, and I think Astros pitching staff gets it done in Fenway in 7.
I'm going to take the Red Sox in 7 just because of the home field advantage. They've been impossible to beat in Fenway Park this year. That's really all I got. Starting pitching, Nathan Eovaldi, if he pitches like he pitched last week, Astros are in a bind.
I'm going to go ahead and take the Astros in 6. I think that these bats are picking up. We're actually seeing Springer start dropping bombs. I mean, that's what it takes, I think, for everybody to come around and do good in postseason. He wasn't doing good in the regular season, and now he's picking his bat up. It got hot at the right time. So I'm taking Astros in 6.
I'm going to take the Astros as well, and I think instead of Springer, they're going to ride Bregman to the World Series.
Absolutely.
Bregman ain't strong enough to hit it over that wall in Fenway.
I think he is. I think he's got laser beams out of it. And that's my 2 favorite teams, so I'm actually really glad that they're both here. It's going to be a good series. I think Mookie Betts needs to do something if Red Sox want to win because he is batting a strong 186. Your MVP of 186, which terrible. I think J.D. Martinez deserves the MVP. But that'll slide us into the next series. We got Dodgers and Brewers. I'm going to go out and take L.A. I think it's going to be a World Series rematch from last year with L.A. and Houston. I think L.A. just has the pitching, and Machado is going to be the difference maker in that series.
I'm I'm going to go ahead and take LA as well. I think their pitching staff just outnumbers the Brewers. I mean, I really only know one or two starters from Milwaukee, but I do love Yelich as an MVP candidate. He's playing great ball. He's an amazing baseball player, but I think LA just has too much star power over there. I think Machado's going to carry. I think you look for Daniel Murphy to step up, and Chris Taylor's clutch hits, Yasiel Puig. I mean, they just got an all-around good team.
I'm going to take the Dodgers as well. I like Yelich as MVP for the NL, but I think the Dodgers just have too much star power for the Brewers to keep up with.
Every year we watch teams come through the playoffs, and it's not who the best team is, it's who the hottest team is. And the Brewers have won 11 straight games. They got the best offense left in the playoffs, in my opinion. They are facing a Dodgers team that's lefty-loaded with a righty-stacked lineup, and their only real threat lefty is Christian Yelich. So, I mean, I give me the Brewers. I'll take the hot team. And that'll lead us into last week's NFL games, Week 5, that started off with the Colts and Patriots.
Before we do that, I told y'all before the show we were going to give a Mr. October. And I feel like I'm going to steal Caleb's because we're very like-minded. Mr. October, the new Mr. October, Alex Bregman, baby. Alex Bregman.
No.
Who is he?
Christian Yelich.
So he has to win. Whoever you're saying has to win.
Christian Yelich.
You're saying the Brewers beat the Dodgers and you're going on with them to win the World Series.
Yep. If they beat the Dodgers and they're still that hot, they're going to win the World Series just off of being that hot. We watched the Giants do it like 3 times. They had no pitching. They had Bumgarner. That's it. Julius Chassin got the best slider in the game. And not to mention, the Brewers bullpen is unhittable. Josh Hader is the best pitcher. If there's one guy in the major leagues I don't want to hit off, it's him because he will make everyone in the league look stupid.
Like he made Daniel Murphy look like that boy off of Bench Warmers. Did y'all see that? Mr. October, yeah, Fruze stole mine for sure. I'm going to have to go with Bregman just because I think the Astros take a back-to-back like Bregman put as his little profile pic going back-to-back, a little Drake photo, a little logo. I like that. So I'm taking Bregman as Mr. October. But if he does not get that, I'm going with Machado. If they beat the Brewers, I got to go with Manny Machado as Mr. October. He's been hot.
I'd have to agree. I like Bregman. Like I said, the Astros are going to ride him to the World Series. And then if something happens and they don't make it to the World Series, then I'd have to go with Machado as well. I mean, he's really been the difference maker for a Los Angeles team.
All right, so that's all of our Mr. October people. Who y'all think is going to be the pitcher for this year? Every year there's a guy, Bumgarner.
You want to hear who it is? It's an Astro, and it's not Verlander this year. You know who it is? It's Gerrit Cole.
Okay.
I'm telling you, that 12 strikeout performance the other night, he was dazzling. That ball was dancing.
The pitcher that's going to control everything this year.
I got Cole. 2 wins against the Red Sox, 2 wins against the Dodgers in the World Series. He'll be that guy.
Huh.
May pitch him Game 7. I'd love to see a split Game 7 Verlander and Cole.
I'm gonna go. I was about to say I'm
half and half.
I'm gonna go with Verlander, just because I like how he's pitching right now. That high heat, just nobody can hit him. He's very hard to hit. I got to go with him.
And it's the Verlander effect. When you see that lineup, when you see that scorecard, and it says Verlander's pitching against you tonight, you think about it a little more when you go up to the plate.
Right. You go from automatically having an 8-hit ball game to you got to scrape out. You may scrape out 3 or 4 hits off of him, which is pretty big. But I think that in order for LA to win, they have to have a great Game 1 out of Kershaw. He's gonna have to show me something. A year ago, you're the best pitcher in the league, hands down. Nobody's touching you. Nastiest curve, and then I know injuries get people held back, but if they're gonna beat the Brewers, he's gonna have to come out because, like Dustin said, that Brewers team is a hot hitting team.
My postseason pitcher of the year is actually gonna be Kershaw. He's gonna start Game 1, and I believe he's gonna shut Milwaukee down to an extent in Game 1, maybe throw 7 scoreless, and then they win Game 1. And then I see them Brewers ripping some off. And then when they go back home, I see Kershaw coming in dealing again. And that's why I think Brewers in 7. But Kershaw already threw an 8-inning 2-hitter against the Braves. No runs.
Right.
So, I mean, he's already off to a hot start. Verlander's off to a hot start. All we know is all of them are better pitchers than Matt was. Matt got yacked every fourth game.
Boy.
What you got to say about that?
High change-ups. Adi rolls.
Wasn't he the ace, though?
Second best my senior year, but my postseason pitcher, I'm gonna have to agree with Hunter. I like Gerrit Cole. He's touching 99 the other day, and I think that strong arm's just gonna carry on to more strikeouts.
Okay, that leads us into week 5 of NFL. And the first game of week 5 was the Colts and the Patriots. We all picked the Patriots to win, and we were all right. Just a quick takeaway from the game. Hunter, what you got?
That was my premium play last week. I did, instead of a traditional one game, I did a teaser is my play, which is when you give a team 6 points. Patriots were a 10-point favorite. It made it a 4. And Rams were a 7.5. It made it a 1.5. Rams covered by half. So my premium play did hit. Patriots look good. Josh Gordon, the first of many touchdowns. That's what I got out of that. Patriots are rolling. Like you said with Edelman, the Edelman effect. Once he's back, it spreads the field, and that's exactly what they did.
Edelman creates so much for the Patriots. When Edelman plays, everybody's open. I will take the Patriots every week. I will take them over and over again until they prove me wrong. Patriots at home this week, just an early value play right there. Patriots at home.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that. I think Edelman brings a whole new offense to that team. He puts a lot on the table. I mean, he even opened up we really haven't seen Gordon do anything. I know he's only really played the most snaps has played this year was last week. So, you saw some plays open up for him. And Gronk only has like 2 touchdowns this year. I think it was something like that. So, I think it'll open up more for him. He needs to step up. I like Sony Michel too. I like him in that backfield. He's doing fantastic. So yeah, Pat's really good that game.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I like Sony Michel. I wish I'd try to trade for him in fantasy in both of my leagues, but I think the game would have been a lot closer if Indianapolis could have stopped shooting themselves in the foot. Luck with the 2 turnovers, sacks, constantly hounded under pressure.
Right. Yeah. I was just about to say that. Like that. I mean, we're all talking about the Patriots, but I mean, we got to think about how many people were hurt for the Colts. I mean, they almost had about 8 or 9 people out. Having to turn the ball to third string receivers. They have no running game. It's sad when a week ago Andrew Luck was your leading rusher with 15 yards. Like you said though. Like I mean, if they would stop shooting themselves in the foot, that probably could have been a better game.
Yeah, they had several chances. They had the 2 interceptions off of Tom Brady, and I know at least on one of them, as soon as they intercepted it, 3 plays later, they throw another pick right back to them.
Y'all think if the Colts were competitive, they'd have traded for Le'Veon Bell already?
Of course. I think they would have been forced to.
I'm just letting y'all know they're underdogs this week against the Jets, and I'm taking the Colts.
I think Philadelphia should make a strong offer.
Panthers are underdogs this week against the Redskins.
I think Philadelphia should make a strong offer for Le'Veon Bell right now. I honestly do. I'd go all in. You're already 1-3 down in the division. I'd take a shot.
They just be renting him for 1 year.
I'd rent him though. I mean, what are you renting him for? A second-round pick?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'd rent him.
They might as well.
You got to be a contender though if you want Bell. That's the
Especially
thing,
if
because
you're
he's
coming off a
not
Super Bowl win.
staying long term.
And if you're coming off a Super Bowl win, you got to do better.
How do
So
you
that'll
know
bring us into the next game there, and that's going to be Titans and Bills. We'll go quick. Our Titans stock took a major hit. Titans are out of the playoffs by a country mile. I think Chargers are going to take over their spot there. But Titans, terrible game. Buffalo, terrible game. I don't even want to talk about it.
I've never seen a team play so up and down as the Titans. Last week, amazing. And then this week, you lose to the Bills. After we gave you all that praise last week, I don't know really what's going on. Their defense is looking really good. They haven't gave up very many points this year, but just some reason your offense can never get it done.
Tennessee and Buffalo might have been the most boring game I've ever watched in my whole life. Marcus Mariota, you suck. Josh Allen, you'll be good one day, but as of right now, you suck also. No takeaway from that game. Titans run the football with Dion Lewis. Run. And also, I did not buy any of that Titan stock, if we're going to go back on that real quick.
He didn't buy any of that Titan stock, but what he did skip on as well was the Pat Mahomes stock, and we'll get on that later. And you might want to hop on that train. But my takeaway is LaShawn McCoy. He finally got over 100 scrimmage yards since week 16 of last year. So that's my takeaway. But that's about it. I mean, your defense is good, like Matt said earlier. I mean, you've probably allowed the fewest points in the NFL and so far, but just can't get an offensive game going. Nope, can't run the ball. Corey Davis has been lighting it up, but I mean, for every once in a while, it's just as Mariota can't come in clutch situations. I really don't know what's wrong with him.
Yeah, a total letdown of a game. We all took Titans, I'm pretty sure. Everybody thought they were going to win. Now we'll jump into a good game, and we'll let Caleb start off with this one. His Pittsburgh Steelers, they look very good this week. The offense got back going. What you got on that, Caleb?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed watching that this week, but one thing I can take away on that is that Atlanta's defense is just bad. Like, I mean, they've given up so many points, and not to knock the Steelers, I mean, they had a great game. Connor blew up again, you know, like, aside from fantasy, he had 35 fantasy points, but like he did really good rushing the ball and passing. Nah, they looked really good. The defense finally stepped up, held Matt Ryan. That running game is just trash for Atlanta. They can't figure that out. You have Tevin Coleman, Devontae Freeman. You hear there's speculation that Devontae Freeman might get traded somewhere. I think the Eagles were talking about getting him. They're talking about they were talking about it. It's just discussion. I don't know if it's true, but yeah, I think Steelers looked really good this week.
My takeaway from that game is Atlanta. I called you out and you didn't come through. Julio Jones, you have got to find the end zone somehow. And my one takeaway, I said it last week with Atlanta, they don't score near the points with Devontae Freeman as they do without him. I feel like they feel like they have to run the ball in the red zone on the goal line when they have him instead of just going 5 wide and having just options. I think Atlanta really shoots himself in the foot by running Devontae Freeman so much. Tevin Coleman's so fast. He's just more elusive. Everybody on the offense is fast if Tevin Coleman's out there. I mean, that's my takeaway from that. Pittsburgh, if Pittsburgh's at home, you bet Pittsburgh. That's a season-long premium play. If Pittsburgh's at home, bet them.
Yeah, I figured the game was going to be a toss-up. That's why I said just whatever you do, pick the home team. But all I'm going to say about the Steelers game is the Wi-Fi is always connected, and today it was strong. Quoted Antonio Brown. And we'll see if James Conner keeps up the good work next week. He had the good first week, 3 bad weeks. Now you show up again. 2 bad weeks. And the Falcons, your defense, health-wise, I know that's what's killing y'all. But if y'all could hold somebody under 30, y'all might have a shot.
As a Saints fan, I was pretty excited that Falcons got blew out and diminished more of their confidence and give them a 1-4 start, and Saints a 3-game lead over them. But I was a little upset at our next game, the Carolina and Giants game. It was a good shootout as expected, and I took Carolina in that game, and they covered. But, man, the way they covered. I thought surely Saquon Barkley did the deal and sealed the deal with the touchdown at the end there. But, boy, was I wrong. Graham Gano steps up, 63-yard game-winning field goal to win by 1 for Carolina. So it was an impressive win. And OBJ, it took you to go on SportsCenter and curse your whole team out basically to get things going. But there we go. Odell.
My takeaway from that game is Odell had to get his first touchdown by himself through the air. Jeez, even though you called Eli out with Lil Wayne, that was probably the most savage thing I've ever seen on SportsCenter. You're sitting there doing an interview with Lil Wayne sitting right beside you.
I don't know, the Black Beast, that was probably the most savage thing I've ever seen in my life.
Awesome.
That post-game speech was awesome. But anyways, the New York and Carolina game, Cam just finds a way to win. He's Dak Prescott, except he's a winner. That when it comes down to it,
No.
Cam Newton is a winner. He's won everywhere he went.
He is, but why would you compare him to Dak? He is. Come on now.
So should Odell Beckham be the new New York Giants quarterback?
Absolutely not.
He
bro.
kind of underthrew him a little bit, but it was a 60-something yard bomb.
Too much air on that football. Too much air on that
He
football.
did throw across the field though. Think about that.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good play, good trickeration. They kind of remind me of the Giants with all that talent. I don't know. They kind of remind me of like the '09 Eagles.
Yeah, I don't. What's up with who's that quarter? Oh, they drafted Davis Webb. If y'all know who that is.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
who that is. They
yeah.
cut him.
I have absolutely no idea who that is. Who
He played
who
for
is
Cal. He played for Cal. He was pretty cold in college.
that? I never heard of
They
him.
got Kyle Lawetta as their backup quarterback, and I actually have a buddy who's been talking that dude up for years. Oh, he's the next Giants quarterback. He's the next Giants quarterback.
He's about to be. Eli's about
Yeah.
one sack away from losing it all. From that boy's
Yeah,
risking
he's
it all
about-
every week.
He's about one sack away from his bones falling apart.
All right, so that'll bring us into our next game. We had Jets and Broncos. Big letdown on the Broncos' part. They look terrible. Jets' run game, though, incredible. Isaiah Crowell, where did you come from with 15 carries for 219 and a touchdown?
Bilal Powell ran
Wow.
for 100.
Ran for 100. I seen over 350 yards rushing almost.
He outsnapped him. Bilal Powell snapped Isaiah. That was pretty impressive though. A 200-yard game. Oh, never mind.
Wait, what
All I'm
going
gonna say is in fantasy, if you have a running back playing the Denver Broncos, he is a must start no matter what every week.
What sucks for everybody is that this week that bad man is playing the Denver Broncos.
Who's that bad man?
Todd Gurley.
Ooh,
200 alert. 200 alert.
200 alert. I don't know.
Shoot.
I think so. If Cooks and Cup are out with the concussion, I think Gurley does go for 200.
That's my bold prediction for the week. Todd Gurley's going to run for 200 yards this weekend.
3 scores.
203 scores.
Oh,
And he's
man.
playing Hunter in fantasy, so
That's all right. I'll take it. I took another dub for anybody wondering this week. So, like I said on that 0-4, 0-5, whatever it was start, I was going to start chipping away, and I'm doing it. I've been winning out since.
He said it. I'm doing it. You sounded like
dropping
McGregor right
bombs,
there.
babe.
He had to try to convince himself that it's actually going to happen. That's what that was.
I like it though. I mean, that's the same way Bob started off in our league. You know, 0-3, got his first win, and now he made 2 trades. He's got his second win, so he's running it up.
Chipping away.
So touch on that. Let's go into this Ravens and Browns game. Shout out to Baker Mayfield. You're a winner, man. I mean, what more can I say about the guy? Throws for over 300 something yards, contain the ball. That's what I was gonna say. My bold take last week was the Baltimore Ravens by 3. I said, oh, that's an easy win. How the Browns been playing? No. I now believe that the Ravens are inconsistent. They'll do good one week, awful the next. Blow up the next week, bad the next. It's just how they are.
And on that game, man, shout out to Browns defense.
Right,
Didn't
right.
even give up a single touchdown to inconsistent Mr. Flacco. But still, Browns defense, good game. Baker, a very good game. And you went and got the dub. I think that division's up for grabs. It's going to be – I think Steelers end up taking it by a game. But it's going to come down to the last game, and all those teams are barely going to miss the playoffs.
when I think of the Browns now, I think of Baker, money maker. Because that's what Colin Cowherd, my idol, Colin Cowherd says every time. Baker, money maker.
He's such a hater, though.
Cowherd is a hater, bro. I got to give Colin Cowherd props. He said every rookie quarterback that started this weekend was going to win, and 3 of the 4 were underdogs. And all 4 of them won.
Crazy.
That boy is 80. He's 87%. Sam Darnold against the Broncos, underdog. Baker Mayfield versus Baltimore, underdog. Josh Rosen versus 49ers.
And Josh Allen.
And Josh Allen versus Tennessee.
That boy called all 4 of those.
All
But he
4
did
of
call against my Hoodats on Monday night, but we're going to save that for last. We got to save the best for last.
And I got to also shout out, he's 87% on his picks this year.
I did not know that.
Touching on that Browns-Ravens game, my shout-out is going to be for Denzel Ward with another interception. That's my pick for Defensive Rookie of the Year.
I can't knock that. I really can. None of the rookie defensive players are showing up to me, really.
Unless you want to go with Darwin James. But
Nah, he sucks.
I mean, I wouldn't say he sucks, but
Yep. But all I know is Baker, money maker.
So we'll slide into our next game on that. Good game. Browns will be looking forward to another good one. But one of the best games of the week, which I thought, and I was the only one that called it last week, was going to be Kansas City. Everybody's so high on Patrick Mahomes, but y'all didn't want to take him last week. Y'all wanted to go with Jacksonville. But I went with KC, and KC showed up in a 30-14 victory. Bortles, you look like Bortles. We say it every week. It's like every week we say, good job, Bortles. You proved us wrong. Then the next week, Bortles, you're the worst I've ever seen. So get the consistency right. But Yeldon in the backfield, he don't look bad. Fournette better watch out. I love Fournette, but he better watch out. But watch out for them Chiefs. We'll see what they're really about this week.
On that note, the Jags let Pat Mahomes off the leash. He finally turned the ball over, and they couldn't do anything with it. He didn't really have a great game. And let's get this straight. Jacksonville's defense ain't nothing what it was last year.
Not even close.
Jalen Ramsey done put a target on that defense's back, and see where that got him? Yeah, everybody. He's getting thrown all over. Jalen Ramsey is. Jalen Ramsey, as of right now, you just shut up. You shut up, Jalen Ramsey. And to think that Yeldon could actually take Fournette's spot makes me legit think you're borderline crazy or borderline retarded. But Jamal Charles is coming to take Yeldon's spot.
Oh, stop it. When Yeldon gets the ball over 15 times a game, look at the stats.
I really want to see Jamal Charles do something. I mean, he got picked up by Denver last year when we had that injury to C.J. Anderson, but he didn't do nothing with that. You know, I figured he would.
They only gave him 80 carries, though. So I think
that's
one
what I'm saying.
One good thing is going to be that he's going to be fresh.
Yeah.
And another thing is
a lot of dump passes.
And
from
Jacksonville's
Blake Bortles.
coach wanted him for a reason, huh?
Had
They must
to
have seen something in that workout that got them all twisted.
I hope so.
I think them signing Jamal Charles isn't good for Fournette.
I mean, that's a bold take. I will even to touch on that, I think.
Not that he's going to take his spot.
No,
or
not
anything,
at all.
But his injury is worse than we think.
No, it is. It's very, it is worse than you think, and that's what I was going to say. I mean, even when he comes back, I don't think that he'll get that 20 touches a game, you know, that workload that they were giving him
I think
a year
they'll
ago.
try to save him for the playoffs.
You have to, and not even for the playoffs. You have to save him for next year. This is his second year or third? Second, yeah. I mean, he's still a young running back, and dealing with injuries like that, I mean, he doesn't need that workload this year. His hamstring is not even 100%. You got Jamal Charles, T.J. Yeldon. Give them the ball. Give Leonard about 10 to 12 touches a game. You'll be good. And besides, look at their winning percentages. Without him, did y'all see that? It's better, yeah. Without him, so I mean, I'm not saying that you don't need Leonard Fournette. I'm just saying that, you know, maybe take a little off his workload.
I think a split backfield would be very helpful for them.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, Jacksonville probably would have won that game if Bortles doesn't commit 5 turnovers.
That's Blake Bortles, though. That's week in, week out.
That's letting Mahomes off the hook.
Exactly.
You make 2 turnovers instead of 5, y'all win that game.
He threw 3 interceptions inside the 10-yard line. First time I've ever seen this. He threw an interception off the back of his lineman's head, deflects in the air, and it gets intercepted in the end zone. First time I've ever seen a quarterback throw an interception off the back of his own teammate's helmet.
That's Bortles. And back
His
to the
accuracy is elite, though, guys. Let's not forget Bortles' accuracy is elite. He must. I think Bortles might be half blind. I really do. I think he may only be able to see out of one eye. Because I swear he completes all his passes to one side of the field and is dead off on the other side. Something's up with that vision.
Quick little note. Jamal Charles actually said he had double-digit offers from different teams, but he was waiting on the right team, the right contender to sign him, to like go with. And another thing, I was reading an article. The last 10 times the number 1 offense in the league has faced the number 1 defense in the league, the number 1 offense has won 9 of the last 10 times.
Wow. Did you find that out afterwards or before?
After.
Dang.
Sadly.
Nice to know.
Sadly.
We need stats like that before the game starts.
Right.
Yeah, did you hear that?
Yeah.
All right, so what's our next game?
Our next game is going to be, we're going to skip ahead.
We'll go with Green Bay and Detroit. How's that
Okay.
sound? That was a little bit of a surprise to me. I thought Mr. Rogers would be a little better than that, especially Detroit coming off a loss to Dallas. I expected them to lose another. But that game wasn't a very good game to me. It was a good game for Detroit, but they may have something going there now on that backfield and stuff. So
You
We'll
know
see what happens.
You know what they got going? They got a young Kenny Galladay who is a beast. He is a beast.
Told you. Hey,
I swear, if I hear anything about the Lions wide receiver trio, I'm reaching across the table and smacking you.
I'm trying to tell you. I said this last week.
Marvin Jones had 1 catch,
Marvin Jones.
but it was a touchdown.
But it was a touchdown. Okay, there you go. And tell me this. Has Julio reached the end zone yet? This is the trio I'm talking
you
about.
You gotta reach the
This
end
is-
zone to be second in the league. In
It-
All right, fellas.
I'm talking about a
on our
trio.
wide receiver trio. We'll pause it right there on that Detroit game. I'm one of the ones that said Atlanta, and now I'm gonna go back and change my answer. I would change it to Minnesota, but I couldn't give Dustin that much credit. So I'm gonna tell everybody right here, right now, Los Angeles Rams have the best wide receiver trio with Cooks, Kupp, and Woods. I'm telling you, it's better than Thielen, Diggs, and Treadwell.
Treadwell. I
Do
don't
you
even know who
count
Treadwell
Gronk
is.
as part of a trio?
Yes.
All right, well then Patriots.
No way. Edelman
Bruh.
hasn't proven himself or Gordon.
Bruh.
And who's the other third?
Bruh.
Cordero Patterson?
Physically,
James White?
beast. You already know. Boy, he's running around still half.
I
gimp
need
out there,
numbers.
mossing 2 people at one time.
I need numbers. I like
on, bro.
Fruge's. I like Fruge's Los Angeles Rams over the Falcons, over the Patriots. I
The numbers
like
are
that.
there because Golf leads the league in pass yards.
Yeah. And they're
And
actually
Minnesota's also there because Kirk
And-
Cousins is second.
and not to mention
Goff
they're the
is
only
leading
team.
the league in yards because look at how bad their defense has been the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. They are the only team that lines up with 4 receivers 86% of their plays.
And they're the only team
3.
in the NFC that is 5-0, zeros and
There
zero
you go, right there.
losses.
There you go, right there.
But all
And
right,
0
let's-
is a number.
Let's jump back. Let's jump back into Detroit.
Yeah, let me go ahead. My takeaway from that is Matt called that last week. He said Detroit. I mean, Green Bay's defense has to step up. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, I'm pretty sure that Dustin called this last week and said that he was going to have a phenomenal game, and he threw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, you can't ask more. Devontae Adams, dude's an absolute beast. I mean, he's been going off week in, week out. And Aaron Jones, 7 carries for 40 yards. That is y'all's running back. That is Green Bay's running back right there. Whether they know it or not, he's not getting enough touches. If you look at last week, he had the same amount of carries for almost the same amount of yards. He needs to touch the ball more. They need to get that running game going, and I think that they do a lot better. But
It
like
could be first and goal with 2 minutes left in the Super Bowl, and Green Bay's on the 1 yard line, and
They're
Aaron
going-
Rodgers is either QB sneaking or throwing a.
they're pulling a Russell
throwing a
Wilson, no
slant.
doubt. But I
A
like
running
what,
back will never prevail in Green Bay. I'm sorry,
I
unless
feel
it's
you on
Le'Veon
that.
Bell.
Yeah, I understand that. And but no, to take away from the actually winning team, they have something over there. I mean, Matthew Stafford, they're going on a bye week this week. He has a lot of weapons around him. I like Kerryon Johnson, 12 carries for 70 yards. Matt said he needs to be the bell cow there, and Matt was right. I think that they need to give him the ball more. You think about it. You give him another 12 carries, 24 touches. It's 140 yards. They smashed the Packers probably.
Well, you say they need to give him the ball more. Matt Stafford only threw 28 passes.
Oh, no,
So-
under 100-something yards.
So they
Yeah,
had a
well,
balanced
they had
offense.
great field position because
Yeah.
of Green Bay's kicker missing 40-yarders, 50-yarders. That already puts you at midfield or pass, so you don't have much to do.
And I actually skipped this a minute ago. I want to congratulate Jacksonville's defense for not allowing Patrick Mahomes to throw a touchdown. Thank you. Y'all are my heroes.
But yeah, I appreciate that credit right there, Caleb. Like I said, Kerryon Johnson, give him the ball. Unfortunately, he went out with a little ankle injury. We'll see, track his status throughout the week. But in the first half of that game, Rodgers was bum. He was a bum. He didn't step it up till the second half.
Junk time. He's a junk time player. He ain't no real player. Tom Brady's a real player.
I mean, I wouldn't say he's not a real player.
He's a
but
choke. With the game on the line, Aaron Rodgers is a choke. Give me Breeze. Give me Brady. Give me Wentz. Give me Ben Roethlisberger. Give me all of them before I'm taking Aaron Rodgers. Hell, give me Russell Wilson for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, Russell Wilson has been so slept on this year. I'm glad you said that. Somebody dropped him in one of my fantasy leagues, and I was just thinking, like, I know he doesn't have the weapons, but I mean, dude, for not having an elite number 1 receiver and no running game, their running game is good. Mike Davis, Chris Carson, over 100 yards this week. I mean, they're actually doing something good, but he's working with nothing, and he's making it. He's getting wins. The game will be that close, but yeah, a late field goal wins the game. I mean, Rams just know how to win. But yeah, that's my takeaway from the game.
I think Rams are very fortunate that they had Santos this week and not Ficken, or they might have slipped up and lost at the 12th man. I think Seattle might have got the best of them this week. Seattle played good. I like the run game with Davis, like you mentioned, and I like Seattle here for it. I don't think they're going to get enough to get a playoff spot, but they did look very good.
Nobody's going to give me any credit for saying that the Rams would not cover the spread. I told y'all, Seattle is no joke at home. At home,
7.5. I don't think any of us took that spread. I took the 1.5.
I teased it at a +2. I got that shit last week.
I'm telling you, like, Seattle at home is a team to bet on because they can still be big underdogs at home. And Russell Wilson, you the man. Seattle ran the ball for over 175 yards. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what I want to touch on.
First, we got to touch on Dustin's Seattle Seahawks ran the ball good this week. So
No.
back with the Seahawks or what?
It's Dustin's Minnesota Vikings, Dustin's New England Patriots, Dustin's Rams,
Hunter,
and
it's a new year,
and
bro.
Dustin's Saints. Thank you.
Anyways, going back to the newfound running game from the Seattle Seahawks, I like it.
Yeah.
I like you got to help out the weak offensive line. And I honestly am not by the Rams defense. Marcus Peters, you're getting toasted, son. And your defense is allowing at least 5 yards of carry. And if you're going to allow 5 yards of carry, that's a recipe for disaster come playoff time.
I agree. And you know what that brings me
Saints
to?
may take them down.
I think I like that for Jay. But you know what that brings me to? The best corner in the league, Patrick Peterson. It's so crazy how you get Richard Sherman is it. Then
It's crazy how he's 8 for 8 on Pro Bowls.
Yeah, dude, that's my point.
He's year in and
he's
year
so
out,
consistent, and he continues to be the best corner on an awful Arizona team. You know what I saw today? I saw Deion Sanders in an interview talk about how good Patrick Peterson and how elite he's playing. At this level, being in the league so many years on a bad team. You know what he said? Sean Payton, call him up. Sean Payton, trade for him. Trade somebody to get Patrick Peterson to have a number one quarterback on your team on offense that can do it, and then your quarterback on your defensive side, which would be Patrick Peterson calling your plays. How dirty would that be?
I dream of Patrick Peterson, a fellow LSU
Deion
Tiger,
Sanders
coming to New Orleans. I hope.
But cornerbacks are good in their own schemes. Like maybe the scheme's different, maybe that. Because remember, we got the next big thing, Jarius Byrd. The Saints got the next big thing in Jarius Byrd, and he turned out to be terrible.
Exactly, and you're right. I think it is the schemes. And Bouye went to, where was it? The Eagles, right?
Texans. He went from Texans to Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's my point. So he went to the Texans, to Jacksonville, and he's not really doing good on either team. So that's my point when I'm saying about Pat P. Pat P can just play. I think he could play, and it doesn't matter what scheme you put him in. He's going to be Pat P.
All right, while we're talking about cornerbacks, last week we had Jalen Ramsey talking trash about Tyreek Hill being solely a return specialist. Don't even put Tyreek Hill's name up with Jalen Ramsey's name. And then Tyreek Hill kind of put them burners on Jalen Ramsey this week. What do y'all think? I thought Tyreek Hill kind of put it on Ramsey a couple plays this week and shook him up a little bit.
If he throws that ball to the inside a little more, Tyreek Hill's throwing up that peace sign running in that end zone.
Yeah, he had pressure on him on that play, but if you watch the game, go back and watch some of the tape, Ramsey's playing 10 yards off of Hill. He was scared to get beat because he knew he couldn't keep up. So give up the 7-8 yard curl, which I don't know why the Chiefs didn't take advantage of it. Even though they scored 30, they could have scored so much more.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny, too, how he played off after he said he had elite speed and he'd match up head-to-head with Tyreek Hill. He wasn't even that fast. I say the cheetah got out the cage. I say the cheetah got out the jungle.
The cheetah was let loose. The
cheetah was loose. Mr. Ramsey, the lineskeeper, couldn't keep the grounds that night. Chiefs had to let one off on him.
Hey, that ain't got nothing on the Twitter beef with Josh Norman and Michael Thomas.
Dude,
I was about to say something about it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he said he locked Michael Thomas down. Boy, the only thing y'all locked down was some supper after the game because y'all boys was trash. Y'all was getting ate on.
He said, man, I made you my son. He said, Coach had to pull you out after the second quarter. He said, you weren't nothing near to me. He said, you were not touching me. He said, you don't want no smoke. But, I mean, Josh Norman talks so much trash that it does get under receiver's skin, so I don't blame him for going at him. I just wish Mike Thomas would, stay humble, stay to yourself. You proved him wrong on the field. You burned his ass, and Drew Brees was just touching the ball to so many different receivers. I think
Drew
Smith
Brees
had
just
two,
had that
two.
Midas touch.
He
We're
did,
saving
bro.
it, though. We're saving that
For
game.
sure,
Nothing
for
else on
sure.
that game.
Two.
All right, we'll go back to the last 12 o'clock game, Bengals and Miami. I think we all had Bengals winning. I knew Miami was a fluke. 4-2. Now they're going to be 4-3, 4-4, 5-4-5. They're going to slowly fall off. I don't think Miami's got it, but I do think Bengals did look good again. Mixon came back and did well, ran the ball well, had a couple touchdowns, and Bengals got it done, won by 10.
I mean, dude, think about this. The Miami Dolphins were up 17-0 going into the third quarter. You look at that, you're like, oh, bro, this game's over. You're thinking that, maybe Tannehill and the Dolphins are legit. They gave up 24 points in that fourth quarter. I don't know what happened, but they came out. Andy Dalton wasn't doing anything, came out slinging the ball, and then Mixon. That's my takeaway. I like Mixon, man. He's the star of that team, I believe.
Yeah, their offense did good with Bernard, but I think it takes a whole nother level
Bernard?
with Mixon. Yeah, Giovanni Bernard.
He got hurt.
I know. He played the 2 weeks while Mixon was gone,
yeah,
but with
yeah.
Mixon, they take a whole nother step.
Absolutely.
Talent-wise, Joe Mixon is the fourth best running back in the league.
Where?
Talent-wise.
Who are you taking him over, man? I can name you four right now that are better.
The only running backs in the league better talent-wise
Right?
than Joe Mixon
Name them.
are David Johnson, Todd Gurley, and Ezekiel Elliott.
What about Le'Veon Bell?
Nope. I hate Le'Veon Bell.
What about Melvin Gordon?
He got his running style from Le'Veon Bell. Melvin Gordon, Saquon Barkley is doing way better
I
than
think
him.
Saquon Barkley
Come
is
on now.
And
a freak.
he is not doing way better than him. Saquon Barkley ain't ran the ball worth a damn all season.
But he's catching the ball good, too, and
Neither
they're
has
playing
Mixon.
from down a lot, so it's
Mixon hasn't ran
predictable.
over 100 yards.
Mixon's averaging like 5 a carry almost.
He hasn't ran over 100 yards.
And Mixon is elusive, dude. Mixon,
Bell.
Le'Veon Bell, you can't tell me Le'Veon Bell's a top 3 back when his longest carry over the last 3 years is 37 yards.
Okay, how about him being the only receiver in the past 3 years to have over 200 yards rushing?
Wait, say that again?
Over the past 2 years, he is the only running back to have over 200 yards rushing, and the only one to do that since was Isaiah Crowell this past week.
Didn't Jay Ajayi run for 200 not last year but the year before 2 times?
Go check it.
Yeah, the year before. He went for 200 a couple times.
How many carries did Le'Veon have that game? 35, 36? That tends to be what he gets.
I could agree there's a lot better running backs than Mixon. I mean, I have him on my fantasy
No
team
doubt.
for sake. There's
And-
more than
and I'm
4
not,
backs
I'm not
that
being
are
biased
better.
because he didn't play for my college school. Hate Oklahoma. He doesn't play for any team I like in the NFL. I don't have him on
Think
any
of
fantasy
that. Think
team.
of that. Baker Mayfield and Joe Mixon. What a combo, huh?
They're saying
What
they're
about
saying that,
this? Who is the best college combo you could think of? Maybe they didn't be as good in the NFL, but while they were in college, I got another one: quarterback, running back.
Who?
Taysom Hill.
Who?
Jameis Winston and Devontae Freeman. Back-to-back national championships at Florida State.
I got one better for you.
Who you got?
Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry.
Oh, yeah.
2 wide
All right,
receivers.
move
I don't
on to
care.
the next.
They're right.
It's GG. He got that.
Hey, all right, I got
He
you. I got
got
you one.
that.
I got you one. I mean, I don't think that's better than that, but I think you have Juju Smith-Schuster, USC native, tearing it up in the league. Right now, I think the running back that y'all will see in the next 2 years that is going to be, I'd say a top 10. I can't say top 5. I haven't seen nothing from him because he hasn't played. Ronald Jones from Tampa Bay. Thank you. You like him too? Okay. Ronald Jones played with Juju Smith-Schuster at USC. And he is. I was watching his highlights actually this morning. I woke up about 5:30, messing around. 2 hours looking at football. Ronald Jones is going to be the truth if that offensive line can stay healthy. And by the way, if y'all don't have him in fantasy, pick him up because he's going to be the number 1 within 2 or 3 weeks. Peyton Barber, 18 carries, 42 yards, 19 carries, 37 yards. 17 carries,
Not even
51.
2 yards a carry.
He can't. Yeah, he's doing so bad. So Ronald Jones, he was a healthy inactive for the first 4 weeks. I'm telling you right now, look for him to be a top 5. That's what it was? Okay, yeah. I was wondering why they kept him out. Yeah.
And one more combo before we move into the next game in college that I thought was pretty good.
Tell us.
A.J. Green and Matthew Stafford at Georgia. Stafford and A.J. Green, that was a good one. But, all right, that'll move us into our next 3 o'clock
Stafford
game.
and A.J. Green was some bad boys.
Yeah, that was some bad
Percy
boys.
Harvin and Tim Tebow.
Yeah,
Boy,
that
you
was
can't sleep.
nice. Hey, don't forget Aaron Hernandez, bro. He was on that team too.
Dude,
You had the preacher and the prisoner on the same team. Really?
That's crazy. What a
Man.
coincidence.
That's a touchy subject though. So our next game we'll move into is Minnesota and Eagles. The game was over before it even started. Kirk Cousins, you are that guy. Kirk Cousins
You like
proceeds
that,
to take
huh?
the field.
You like that.
What, dude, gave me the chills, really. Kirk Cousins pumps his team up before the game, and like Drew Brees does with the Saints, he goes out there and leads the way. Well, usually it's someone else for Minnesota because at the beginning of the video, Kirk Cousins said, "Watch out, guys, I got it today." He knew that he was the difference maker this year between them beating Minnesota last year or beating Philadelphia and winning this year against
You're
them.
absolutely right.
So
he is
Cousins
the
went
difference
out there
maker.
and gave a great speech.
I love it.
Proceeding to tell his players, he said, "You were put here for a purpose. You weren't here by accident. Every tackle, every sack, every rush, give it your best." He just pumped them up.
He
dude.
did,
It was
dude.
over before it started.
You gotta love
Minnesota
it.
went out there and beat the hell out of them. Should have beat them by worse if their kicker could have made a couple extra field goals.
And I say a garbage time touchdown as well. So they didn't start putting up points within the last 5 minutes. I like it, dude. And Skip Bayless, you better put some respect on that man's name and stop spelling his first name with a C, U-R-T. It's Kirk. Boy, it's not Kurt Cousins. Skip Bayless hates him, bro.
I would love Skip to come on the show.
I
with
would
us
love
and,
for him to.
Let me destroy him.
I would rock this man's world in a no homo way, bro. Because I'm telling you right now, Kirk Cousins is the difference maker, like you said, for that Minnesota team, and I love it.
Are y'all talking about Skip or y'all talking about Skip? because Shannon Sharp gets on that boy's head every single day. My Minnesota Vikings, what a win. I knew it. I knew it was coming. Kirk Cousins shows up in the big games. Yes, that's Kirk. K-I-R-K, Kirk. The beast. The GOAT. No, I'm just kidding. He's not the GOAT. Tom Brady's the GOAT, but we'll get there later.
Yeah, I like how we all picked the Vikings except for Caleb this week.
Man, I
As
don't
a-
know.
I like the Eagles, though. I still think they win the NFC East. I think they're going to – they just have the best quarterback in the division, and that's what wins you your games. Eventually, they'll get that turnover ratio right, get it back in the plus.
Best quarterback, best O-line, best defense. It's all the Eagles. So.
Yeah, I agree. Best everything, pretty much. I mean, Ajayi going out for the season with the ACL, but I think they're going to trade – they'll probably trade for a running back.
They even got the best kicker in the division. That's crazy. They got the best everything.
He
Best
ain't made
punter?
the most field goals, but
Best punter, they got the best punter. He might not punt as much as Dallas's punter because he punts a lot. But
yeah, he does.
but I'm telling you, the Eagles ain't no joke. They ain't my team, but they ain't no joke.
I like what he said there. I mean, it is Wentz, no turnovers, 311 yards, 2 touchdowns. He just feeds Ertz
He
the
did
ball
have
too much. That's
interception.
his.
Or a fumble. Whatever
Maybe a fumble.
Whatever they want to rule it. I forget what they rule.
I think it was a fumble because he didn't have any interceptions. But no, that Jay Ajayi, that's pretty bad. Even though he wasn't doing anything. I mean, that's been a running back committee from the start. Corey Clement, Wendell Smallwood, Darren Sproles. Look for them to blow up. I think Corey Clement's going to be their running back over Wendell Smallwood. You think? Wendell's going to be he's more of a third down back though. I'm talking about if they want to run the ball.
Oh, he'll be there. He'll
Really?
be their lead back. Last week he had he averaged 9 yards a carry last week.
Who was that?
Wendell Smallwood.
And that's pretty impressive. I didn't realize
He's
that.
averaging over 5 yards a carry.
Wow. Well, that's good. Yeah. I like that though. I like that takeaway from that. The Vikings.
One more thing to touch on with the
What?
Eagles. Alshon Jeffrey, where'd you go? First week back, you blew up. Next week back, you have 2 catches.
It's Carson Wentz, man. He didn't have all that till the last.
Carson Wentz. It was roads closed.
You think so?
Let's be serious.
Yeah,
It was roads closed last week.
I can see that, but still,
Did y'all
Aguilar
watch
only
it?
had
It was
four
roads
receptions
closed.
for 45 yards. He went only. It's like he's a one-look guy. All he was looking at was Ertz the entire time. Which Ertz, I mean, he made some phenomenal catches, but you have receivers for a reason.
I got something to say about Ertz. I was sitting there watching my Vikings take the victory. Had a 10-point lead with less than 2 minutes to go in the game. And I watched Zach Ertz score 17 fantasy points on one drive. One drive.
Were you playing him?
No. But had I been, we wouldn't be having the same talk because I'd have lost.
Upset.
But,
All right, that'll bring us into our next game, Chargers and Raiders. Dominant performance by the Chargers in L.A. It was a good game for Melvin Gordon. Good game for Phillip Rivers, Keenan Allen, the whole offense. Oakland drops to 1-4. Not a very impressive performance there, but Chargers are looking good. I think they don't win the division versus KC, but they do get the wild card spot. And I think it was a good week out of LA. I'm looking forward to them moving out.
I like
3-2. 3-2. I could see them being 5-6-2 until they start getting into that division rivalry with KC.
I like the Chargers. I really do. They're a good 3-2 team right now. Probably, maybe the best 3-2 team in the league right now. But when Joey Bosa comes back, things will be different. Joey Bosa is the best one-on-one pass rusher in the whole league. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, I like the Chargers as well. They held I'm not going to say good Raiders team to, 10?
A decent Raiders offense. Say that.
They're decent. Yeah, they're decent. But then when they add Bosa, they'll just be even better. I like Rivers. Rivers, very underrated, under the radar MVP candidate. You laugh, but watch if they keep winning. If they keep winning, what happens?
He doesn't win the MVP. That's what happens. They just keep winning.
The MVP front runner right now is Drew Brees.
We'll see.
And if it ain't Drew Brees, it's Jared Goff.
I think Goff may slip around and win it just because of who he is this year. And if they go 15-1, 14-2, something like that. But all right, next game was one of the last games of the evening. Very boring game. I'll be brief with it. Cardinals and San Francisco took the Cardinals. Rosen coming out party a little bit, but it was a weak game.
Yeah, I mean, San Francisco is going to finish under 500 wins. That not having Jimmy G, him going down, that's going to hurt that team tremendously. My takeaway from that is Fitzgerald. I know you're not healthy. I understand it. But, man, they have to give him the ball. And another takeaway from that is Christian Kirk. I believe since Rosen, may have had a lot more practice with Christian Kirk, I like that. Christian Kirk, big body out there, nice hands. I mean, he's doing good. I like that. I like that coming from Arizona. Finally getting more touches with David Johnson, even though that man only had 55 rushing yards. But I like that. Arizona's defense stepped up too. 17 fantasy.
Yeah, my takeaway from the 49ers Arizona game, when my boy the Master Breda was in the game, before he got hurt, they were dominating the line of scrimmage. He gets hurt, magically Arizona turns into the Patriots. How? Matt Breda is a beast.
I think he's pretty good, too. That's why I got him in fantasy. I hope he comes around and I could put him back in my starting lineup. But Mixon's back looking good.
Last week, 8 for 58.
Give him the ball more then. I know they're playing from down, but still.
He got hurt.
Yeah, and that'll bring us into the Sunday night game, probably the most boring game I've ever watched. Dallas and Houston. Dallas defense, you look good first half. You look good altogether, but you just couldn't hang. Texans defense went in with a good game plan. Held Zeke to 50 yards rushing on a modest, 20 carries? It wasn't like he didn't get many carries. They just shut him down, made Dallas one-dimensional. And if you make Dak Prescott throw the ball, anybody can beat you. I really feel that way. If you stop Zeke and make Dak throw the ball, Dallas is the absolute worst team in the league.
My takeaway from that game, it was boring unless you had DeAndre Hopkins on your fantasy team. Because I had him, and I was thrilled.
I had him in one league.
I was loving it. I was sitting there every time that boy would do a spin move, I'd get pumped up. DeAndre Hopkins is a beast.
The dreads clean off his head.
Yeah, no joke. But my big takeaway from that game, Jadeveon Clowney is on a whole nother level. Dude, had the roughing the passer penalties not been so frequent and he had to tackle with his arms, he'd have had 5 sacks in one game. He couldn't sack Dak Prescott because he would come around and he'd have a clean shot and he'd just try to arm tackle him down. Jadeveon Clowney could have hurt Dak Prescott if they wouldn't have changed that rule.
What you think about that Houston-Dallas game?
Whack Prescott? Come on now, man.
Whack-a-mole or Dak-a-mole?
Dude, Dak-a-mole, something. My good friend Mason Baker texted me. He said he has Ezekiel Elliott on his team, right? Well, his name is Hide and Zeke. He texted me before the game. I'm beating this man by, I think, like 23 points. I have Hopkins going into the game, 150-something yards. Yeah, appreciate that, fam. And then he has Ezekiel Elliott. He says, hey, bro, over 89.5 yards. I said, J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney are about to manhandle Zeke. He said, oh, bro, he's going way over that. I said, okay, you take that. 55 yards rushing. You know what I had to do after I whooped him by 28 points? I changed my fantasy name. I think Zeke is still hiding. Hide and Zeke. I said, come on, man. You got to do better than that. But yeah, my takeaway from that is Houston handled their business that game. I like that. That was a good game.
I do have to clarify, through 5 weeks, I said this year that Antonio Brown would be the number 2 receiver. And right now, DeAndre Hopkins has outscored Antonio Brown by 15 points through 5 games.
I think a lot of us had DeAndre Hopkins as our number 1 this year.
No, you love Antonio Brown, Matt.
I took him over multiple players in our draft. You took him over Antonio Brown,
I took him 4th overall.
I didn't. I did take him over Kamara, though, and I thought about getting Kamara.
He's got 120 points in 5 games. What's that average? That's
up there.
That's a good average. He's literally my only consistent. Julio Jones is killing me. It's literally 30 or 9. And it's
he's been like that always, man.
Just scored 20
It's how
a week.
defenses play him. They'll double team him, and then that's when you'll see Ridley and Sanu blow up. But that'll bring us into our last game, and I'll start it off right here. My man Drew Brees, greatest of all time, a legend.
Psych.
A legend. Breaks Brett Favre and Peyton Manning's all-time pass yards record. Going to hit the 500 touchdown club this coming week. That record will soon be broken. I think he needs 45 more touchdowns to break that, so I say he does that easily. But Brees, man, what a show. He proceeds to tell his kids after the game. He goes over to the sideline after they congratulate him and gives the ball over to the Hall of Fame executive and tells his kids, you can do anything that you work for. Told his kids that.
In life,
as long as you work for it. And I believe that. So basically he was telling his kids that 75,000 yards is nothing compared to what you could do.
Drew Brees, you are the best person I've ever watched play football. You are not the best quarterback I have ever watched play football.
That makes no sense. I think this. I'll make a bold statement here.
Hold on.
That Tom Brady is the Michael Jordan of football. And I think Drew Brees is the LeBron James.
No, Drew Brees.
Because he doesn't have the same. He doesn't have the same amount of rings either.
No, Drew Brees.
It's the same. Michael Jordan and Tom Brady have the rings.
Drew Brees
LeBron
is the Kobe Bryant.
Drew Brees have the numbers.
Drew
and
Brees,
a ring or two, but they have the numbers.
Drew Brees is the Kobe Bryant. And Aaron Rodgers is the LeBron James. Because Aaron Rodgers can do more than any quarterback. He can do more than any quarterback.
I think it's LeBron James.
Tom Brady.
Dan Marino.
No.
Dan Marino put up hella numbers with no rings to show for it.
Dude, I wasn't even born when Dan Marino was playing
point.
quarterback.
That's my point. So you can't compare two people in two different eras.
But what I do know is Drew Brees is not better than Tom Brady. But Drew Brees is a first ballot Hall of Famer. I will give him credit there. I actually love Drew Brees. He's a good dude. I got pictures with him, and I got his autograph. He's very humble. Don't cuss around Drew Brees if you're under the age of like 21 because he will not sign your stuff for you. I witnessed it with my own eyes. Dude was like, let's go, Brees. Have a hell of a game, Brees. And Brees would not sign his jersey.
Because he said that?
Because
Actually,
he said that. And
I
he was
remember
like
when we
15.
went to that game. I think it was that Carolina after
and Steve
Christmas
Smith
Day.
had
in,
like
yeah,
250 yards.
like
receiving.
2011. It was way back.
Yeah,
But yeah,
remember?
I remember I didn't wash my hand for a week. Drew Brees shook my hand. I didn't wash it for a week, and we both still got the Brees signed jerseys wherever it is.
Hey, I feel that.
We
I
need to
felt the
find
same
it.
way when Bregman shook my hand. I was like, hey, man, good luck this postseason. I was like, this hand ain't being washed, man.
Yeah, I don't want to wash your hand for weeks.
I should have had a glove, like a little plastic glove on my hand, like the latex gloves we have, and just brought it back in there, put it in my pocket. I should have done that.
He could have murdered somebody and they had his DNA on it.
Yeah, just all OJ on that tail, huh?
All right, what y'all got?
But on that game, Washington completely outclassed. Literally stood zero chance. If you even remotely thought Washington was winning that game, you might as well be checked into a mental ward because you done lost it.
Yeah, I think the receivers were playing with them boys in the secondary, and not only that, Mark Ingram coming back. You know, you see all the touches that he's getting now within those 5 yards. Which, if you look at it, a lot of their plays come within 10 yards. Mark Ingram's going to get that ball. Not to mention Alvin Kamara, he's been dealing with a little injury. Having a fresh set of legs come in, you've been running Kamara for the last 4 weeks. I think that was Sean Payton's way of like, hey, look, let me give you 2 weeks in a row. I'm going to give you, 9 touches. That's all he had this past week. 9 touches going on to a bye week. He has a good, 1.5 week to prepare for the next week. I don't give up on him yet. Kamara is still going to be Kamara once he comes back. He's going to get 15 to 20 touches a game. Don't worry about that, fantasy owners.
What I got to say about that is thank you, Mark Ingram, for coming back now and making the most OP fantasy player in the history of fantasy, knocking him back down to just a normal player. Every week it was, oh, man, Alvin Kamara scored 40. Alvin Kamara scored 35. And y'all go add Traquan Smith on y'all's fantasy teams.
Yeah,
that was
he's
his
taking
coming
over
out
for
party.
Ted Ginn.
That was his coming out party. Where was Ted Ginn? Did he even play?
He was
They let
hurt.
Traquan Smith take his spot that
Ted
game.
Ginn was hurt.
Was he
Yeah,
hurt?
he was hurt, but they let him take his
Oh,
snaps.
yeah.
And he looks like he has been watching, dude. He's been studying. He must be working very hard in practice, Traquan
Yeah.
Smith, because some of
He
those
balled
routes he
out.
was
He
running
had a
to
Where
a
did
Play
T.
college at?
He was
UCF,
UCF,
the national
he was a
champion.
beast.
He's a
The national champions. Are they still the national champions? Right? Didn't they gonna beat Bama this year or what? They gonna snatch that
Nobody's
4
beat
seed in the college football?
Psych.
All right, we'll go ahead and give our picks for the next week. We'll go through this quick. Thursday night starting off, we got Eagles and Giants at MetLife, so we're in New York. I'm going to take the Giants in this one. That's going to be a surprise to most, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Giants. I'll start it off a little out there.
I like the NFC East matchup. I'm going to take the Eagles strictly because of Carson Wentz. I don't think Eli is going to have the same performance. I think he takes another downturn. Their offensive line is still a huge question mark to me, and I can't get behind a shaky offensive line.
I'm also going to take the Giants. No, give me Philadelphia. I'm going to take the Eagles. I think their D-line's going to be too much for the Giants.
Man, coming off that Minnesota Vikings loss, Odell talking all this, hyping this team up and stuff, having to play quarterback, running back. Hell, I even saw him go out there and play corner for a little bit. But give me the Eagles, man. I was just being sarcastic. But give me the Eagles. I think Wentz bounces back. I think that defense needs to step up a little bit, and I think they handle their business.
All right, our next game is going to be Dallas and Jaguars. Almost cracked up saying that. If the real Blake Bortles shows up, I'll take the Jags. I'll take the Jags anyways, just because the defense, they're going to stop Zeke or try to, and Prescott probably will have less than 150 yards. So I got to go with Jags, even though the game is in Dallas, which may make a bit of a difference. I'll still go with the Jags this week.
Yeah, last week I was preaching take the home team if you don't really know. I think it's going to be a great defensive game, but the Jags just Cowboys stagnant offense, Jags defense gets it done, and don't be surprised if Bortles throws for another 400 this week.
I'm to the point now where I have to take the worst of two evils, and the worst happens to be Blake Bortles and Dak Prescott. They're equally as bad. It's them two, Nathan Peterman and Jamarcus Russell, for the best quarterback I've ever watched in my life. But I'm going to take Jacksonville because I just can't seem to process one spot or one phase of the game that Jacksonville is better. I mean, that Dallas is better at. Maybe edge rushers, but that's it. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I really don't even want to talk on this game. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, next up we got Buccaneers-Falcons. It's in Atlanta. I'm going to go with Atlanta this week, the Falcons. Buccaneers are going to have Jameis starting, I believe, and that just sounds like a recipe for disaster, so I'm going to go with Atlanta there. Famous Jameis, not this week.
You hating on Jameis, but I streamed him as my quarterback 1 in fantasy this week, going against the worst defense in the NFL.
I like it.
Worst defense in the NFL right now.
The worst or the most banged-up defense?
Either way, they're the worst right now.
I like that. I like that stream.
Then, I think this is going to be the shootout we were looking for last week between Atlanta and Pittsburgh. I think it happens for us this week. But I'm going to take Atlanta.
I'm also going to take Matt Ryan. I think Matt Ryan is going to eat a W this weekend.
Yeah. I think he steals the old Jameis clobber or lobster leg. Eat my W's. Give me Atlanta. Give me the Falcons.
I'm not
Crab
taking
legs,
no
bro.
matter. I don't care.
Crab legs. My bad.
I don't care who Tampa Bay plays this year. I just cannot pick them in any week
I
because
feel
of
that.
what Jameis
I would have
Winston
never
did.
picked him even through the first 3 weeks. Would have never.
No matter who they play, they could play the Raiders, and I'm
Yeah,
still.
I can't believe
I'm still
y'all. I
taking the
cannot
Raiders.
believe y'all bought into that Fitzmagic.
Oh,
That really
absolutely not.
disappoints me.
Both of them didn't. We couldn't do it.
So as of right now, I'm 2-0 and not buying into this magic.
Oh,
but
you're 2-1. You're dead wrong about Patty Mahomes.
The Mahomes got to go another 3 weeks.
Dustin's gonna wait till the season's almost over,
can't
and he
wait
loses to the 5-time defending champion
cannot
Patriots.
wait until
Told y'all
somebody has a
Mahomes
bad
wasn't
game.
real. He lost to Patriots by 3 this week.
Yeah.
Told you he wasn't real.
You can't do that when somebody loses when they have one bad game, because if that was the case,
Boy.
then I would have fucking not bought your Vikings when they played the
Boy.
Bills.
All right, so enough
Boy
of-
wasn't
enough
even
of
good
the
enough to
stock
get on the
talk.
field over Alex Smith. Check down Smith.
So
Wasn't
that
even good
game,
enough.
that's our next game there. Smith and the Redskins versus Cam and Carolina. I'm going to take Carolina in this one. They got Washington at 1 point. I may get that out as a premium pick. I think Washington's absolute garbage, so give me Panthers.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say. I think the Panthers are just going to McCaffrey the Redskins to death. Cam played a great game last week. And I'm going to take the Panthers. I like the money line for the Panthers.
Yeah, give me the Panthers too. Oh, Cam. Yeah, Cam Newton. That's my only reason. That's a bad boy.
Yeah, I got to go with. Well, I second that. Like Dustin said earlier in the show, he's a winner. Give me the Carolina Panthers and Christian McCaffrey. I'm sorry. Give me Cam, Christian, and the Carolina Panthers.
All right, that brings us into the next game, Seattle and the Raiders. This is going to be a good one. I think Russell Wilson will unleash his potential again. This is going to be a good high-scoring contest. Give me Seattle. Give me the Seahawks, even on the road.
Yeah, I got to go with Russell Wilson. I think that newfound running game is going to help that offensive line. And then the play action is going to really be able to be devastating with Tyler Lockett over the top. And I just can't. It's in London. It's in London, too. Gruden even said he's not a great traveler. So if your coach can't get hype, good luck.
Give me the Oakland Raiders. I think Marshawn Lynch is coming into this game ready to prove something. I guarantee you one thing. Them Oakland Raiders get on the 1 yard line, they're going to be running Marshawn Lynch on that 1 yard line. I promise you. They're going to be like, Seattle, hut, hand it off, touchdown.
Yeah, well, they didn't last week, so we'll see.
Give me David Moore, Chris Carson, and Mike Davis, Russell Wilson, and the Seattle Seahawks. David
All right.
Moore, remember that name. Number 2 receiver for Seattle. Better than Lockett, better than Baldwin. Baldwin isn't healthy.
Yeah.
Did you just say that Brandon Marshall was the Seahawks number 1 then?
I said David Moore.
No, you said he was the number 2. And then you named Doug Baldwin and Tyler Lockett, leaving Brandon Marshall.
Exactly. So
He
Brandon
didn't say
Marshall has
no-
showed me nothing.
Brandon Marshall never came up in that conversation because he's trash. So that'll bring us to our next game here. We got Colts and Jets. Got Jets at home, the 2.5-point favorite versus the Colts. I don't know if I like that. I think I'm gonna go with the Colts this week. Even with I think the run D holds the Jets a lot less than they had last week, and give me the Colts.
As long as Andrew Luck's on that field, the real Sam Darnold will show up. Give me the Colts.
I like that. I think Robert Turbin gets involved in the game more. If T.Y. Hilton comes back healthy, Colts going to win this game by 10 or more. Give me them. Now, I'll probably take that as a premium play. Give me the Colts.
They're 2.5-point dog.
Yeah, give me the money line. Give me the Colts money line.
Plus 8.5 in the teaser.
Absolutely.
I'm going to take the Colts on the road as well. I like just Andrew Luck. That's really all I need to say. I think they'll get a couple key players back this week, I'm sure, and they'll really just put that last week behind them. That's what I think they're going to do. I think they're going to put it to the Jets, take it to the young rookie, and don't expect another game like that out of Crowell for a while.
All right, so that'll bring us to the next game. This one's going to be a blowout, I believe, but actually I think it's going to be closer than everybody thinks. Just because Vikings last time they played a terrible team, they got skunked at home. So Vikings this week at home versus the Cardinals. Give me the Vikings, but not by the 10.5. Surprisingly, I think it's close.
I got to take the Vikings as well. The Cardinals just aren't that great. Rosen, you make some very promising throws, but it's nowhere near enough to beat Kirk Cousins.
Vikings. Enough said.
Yeah.
My Vikings.
Yeah, I'll second that. Give me the Minnesota Vikings. Too much for Arizona to handle.
That would be fourthing that. That'll bring us to our next game.
Good game.
The Chargers and the Browns. I'm going to give me the Browns at home. And that'll be my premium play. Not the Browns, but the over 45 is my premium play of the week.
I think that goes well over as well, but I'm going to take the Chargers. Baker, I don't think he's going to be able to get it done this week. I don't know. It's going to be a good game. Browns at home. I'm going to save that one for the end of the show. Leave that blank for me. I'm going to have to think on it. We'll finish it when we're done. If you ever feel like you should blank one, then blank it, and we'll talk about it after.
This ain't one I need to blank, I tell you that. Phillip Rivers is taking it to him. Travis Benjamin hopefully is back as their deep threat. Melvin Gordon. Cleveland, I like your young defense. Y'all are some dogs, but
I think
Phillip
that
Rivers.
offense.
Phillip Rivers, dude, the offense isn't there for me. I mean, Mayfield, yeah, you're doing great, but it's just, is it going to be better than your counterpart this week? And I don't think so.
I got to agree with Matt on that. I think that offense is just too much for the Browns to handle. Travis Benjamin, if he comes back, he's got something to prove against the Cleveland Browns, who went ahead and let him go. I mean, come on now. That offense is high-powered. You got Tyrell Williams, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Melvin Gordon, Austin Eckler, Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates is going to get his touchdown this week. Take that right now, guys. I'm telling you right now, they're going to beat him by at least a touchdown.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give my pick. I'm going to take Chargers also. I thought about it enough. I'll take the Chargers. We skipped over Steelers and Bengals. That's going to be a great game in Cincinnati. Pittsburgh seems to always find a way to get it done versus Cincinnati, so I'm going to take Pittsburgh. But I am high on Cincinnati this year. I do think they're a good team, but give me Pitt.
Caleb, I'm sorry, but I'm taking the Bengals. Why am I taking the Bengals?
Why?
Here's 2 reasons.
Better running back.
Okay, there's 3 reasons. They got a better running back. They got a better defense.
Right.
And A.J. Green. If you want to throw 4 reasons, Tyler Boyd.
Why A.J. Green?
But A.J. Green and Tyler Boyd aren't better than the Steelers' number 1 and number 2.
But the secondary for the Bengals is better than the Steelers.
But all right. You should have said secondary. You can't say A.J. Green and Tyler.
Well, he's going to eat. They're both going to eat.
And I guarantee you that Juju goes for 100 and Brown.
It still won't be
Receivers go
enough.
over 100.
4 receivers will go over 100.
4 receivers?
2 for each team.
You're crazy. I think A.J. Green does or Tyler Boyd. I don't see both of them doing it.
After
Pittsburgh.
After how many points the Steelers just scored last week?
Right. And then gave up 17 to Julio. But you're hey, hold on.
Woo.
Let me stop this.
Woo.
Let me stop this.
Woo.
Your trio, Matt, Mohamed Sanu, Calvin Ridley, and Julio Jones could not do anything against this banged up, whack secondary, but you expect A.J. Green and Tyler Boyd to come in?
Every dog has his day, dog.
Oh, okay, you're
Look,
right.
A bad
You're right.
game here, bad game there.
Correct.
It's going to happen.
All right, well,
You can't be perfect every week.
You're right. Matt Bengals, Caleb Steelers. We're also putting a case on it each. So if he wants to bet me
Ooh.
head up, we'll do that.
Whoa.
Case of beer? Come on.
Case of beer, Matt? What?
12-pack.
12 pack.
6-pack. If you want.
Boy, Caleb can't handle a 40.
I'm trying to help you out.
All right, Dustin, who you got in that pit since Cincinnati?
I think the Steelers defense figured it out. Give me the Steelers. Matt, you're gonna owe Caleb a 6-pack.
Man, I can't believe all y'all are going against me. Y'all learned. Y'all obviously didn't learn after last week I called the Lions. Y'all didn't learn.
Yeah.
That's going to bring us in the next game, the Texans and the Bills. I'm going to say consensus 4-0 Texans on this one. Even though the Bills shocked us all last week, I still...
Shoot, Hunter's.
That's twice this year they've done
We
it.
got to consider Hunter is a Bills fan. So.
I will never take the
He's
Bills
been a loser his
in
whole life.
any week of this season.
Give me the Texans, but
Big Texans.
Hunter, do you like the Bills or the Texans? I know you've been a loser your whole life. So.
Yeah, right. Texans, baby. Texans.
I think his consensus was correct. Let me go ahead and get those Houston Texans.
Next game is the Bears and the Dolphins. This game, it's in Miami. So you know what I'm going to take? Khalil Mack and the Bears.
Same here. Give me the Bears. Give me the MVP, first half MVP, or first quarter MVP, or defensive MVP at least. Khalil Mack. He'll probably tear Tannehill's ACL again. I hate to say it, but I feel bad for Tannehill this week.
For the 5th time in the
Yeah,
last 5
I feel
seasons.
bad. I'm gonna go ahead and say a bold statement. Tannehill gets hurt this week. Hate to say it, but
I ain't wishing that on nobody, but you just gave Khalil Mack about 5 awards in one sentence. I like it.
Yeah, no joke. You didn't even save one award for anybody. But I'm going to take the Bears as well.
Yeah, I think a week for them to prepare for that bye week. I think Jordan Howard gets the ball rolling. You done got Tariq Cohen going last week. The passing game. Like, give me the Chicago Bears.
all right, and that'll slide us into the next game. We got the Rams with a hot head of steam heading into Denver. I think Rams keep it rolling and give me the spread, whatever it is. Let's
They'll
see.
probably for sure have a head of steam in Denver.
7. Give me Rams by 7. I'll take Rams by 7.
Give
I
me
got your joke, head of steam. I see what you did there in Denver. But let's just say the altitude's high. Anyways, I'm going to take the Rams. Gurley, like Dustin said in the beginning of the show, is bold take. I got to agree with him. 200 yards, no doubt. 200 yards, no doubt. After what the Jets just did to them boys, either the DC's lighting a fire under somebody's ass or it's just going to happen again.
Give me the Rams and also my bold predictions out of this game too. Actually, I have 2 bold predictions. Todd Gurley, 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. And also, if Greg Zuerlein plays, he will be the first kicker in history to kick a 70-yard field goal.
That's
Legatron. I don't know about that, man. Coming off an injury, if you've watched kickers in the past, that very rarely happens. When they come back from injury, they're not as good. Confidence down a little bit. They're not in the natural motions. I mean, you look at most kickers that happens to. But give me Los Angeles Rams coming in. Gurley's gonna go off. But I'd love in every game to play Philip Lindsay, feed this man the ball. He has over 300-something rushing yards, 328 to be exact, compared to Todd Gurley's 415, I think, with
half the carries.
Philip Lindsay is a monster. They need to feed him the ball more, but give me the Rams. I think this is a shootout.
Good too, though. So
Royce Freeman's good.
It's hard to get the carries out. They got to really see who's true. Who's
exactly,
the best.
like you said, both of them are good. And then once you think you have, all right, these are my two quarterbacks. Nah, we go with the trio. Devontae Booker last week had the most fantasy points out of all three. Crazy. So who do you start? Who do we start? It's crazy. But yeah, give me the Los Angeles Rams.
All right, and that'll bring us into the next game. Baltimore at Tennessee Titans. I'm going to take the consistent side of Baltimore this week. So give me the Rams, although the game is in Tennessee. I'll take the Rams. I'll take the Ravens.
That game's in Tennessee, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm taking the Ravens all the way. That Ravens defense can shake back real nice against a shaky Titans offense and get the job done on the road.
Give me the Ravens. A battle of the two check-down quarterbacks. And Alex Smith's not in this one, but...
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say give me the Ravens in this as well. I think that offense is better than Tennessee's. Flacco get a little bit going. Yeah, look for that boy John Brown to have a really good day, and Willie Snead as well.
All right, next game Sunday night prime time. They picked a good one here. We got our boy, the future of the game, playing the old head, Tom Brady versus Patty Mahomes.
I thought you were talking about Sony Michel and Tom Brady.
Yeah, right. Pat Mahomes, whatever the over is, give it to me first of all. 54.5. Let's see, that's my guess. 59. This is the highest over-under I've ever seen in my life. Everybody agree? Have y'all ever seen over 59?
I think that shit goes well.
No, give it to me. 59.
The over?
The over.
Boy.
Give it to me. This game's going to be 38, 35.
What you got?
Give me Mahomes. Give me the Chiefs.
Yes.
Give me the
The
Chiefs.
Mahomes merchandise, future to come on Legendary Apparel. Arrowhead.
Boy. Don't rub my head for good luck. But I'm going to tell you this. Chiefs ain't winning that game. Chiefs taking their first L to Tom Brady and the Patriots in Foxborough. I'm not going against Brady at home with his fans. And honestly, Brady's not even the reason they win. You know who is? Sony Michel. I like it.
I think
Chiefs run D, garbage.
I
Chiefs
think
defense, garbage. Just because Bortles had 5 turnovers, don't get too hype on the Chiefs D.
I think Tom Brady is going to be the reason they win. And none other than to say Bill Belichick will be the reason that they win. Give me the New England Patriots against this fire-hot Mahomes and Kansas City Chiefs. It's hard for me to go against them because I like it. I would say the final score, Chiefs will score 17 points, and the New England Patriots will give you 24. And this game goes under 24-17.
All right, now you're slipping. Chiefs with 17? No way. Chiefs get 31 to the Patriots 38.
What you think for the score, Hunter?
I already said it. 38-35 Chiefs, baby.
All right, I'll make my prediction.
Chiefs.
Give me the Patriots at home, 34-7.
You're
Timeout. Timeout.
Stop
Every
it. Nope,
time.
Stop it.
Every
Next pick.
time one of these games comes up to Bill Belichick, somehow we all sit there and say, how? How does he hold that team?
That's why I said Bill Belichick.
Hey, and you know what I'm going to say? How did he not hold them? How
You
did
know-
Pat Mahomes throw 5 touchdowns in Foxborough?
Do you know?
And how about those Chiefs?
You know how Andy Reid is Bill Belichick's biatch.
I don't know, dude. I'm taking the Chiefs, so I'm the only different one on there. So we'll see what's up next week with that. Monday night, our final game of the week, we got the Packers at home, 49ers. I'll take the
Packers.
Go, Pack, go. That's all I'm going to say about that one.
I gotta second that. Ain't nobody touching Aaron Rodgers at home. Give me the Packers. Aaron Jones gets his first game for over 100 yards. Y'all heard it here first.
All right, so now we'll do our premium pick real quick for the week.
We need to add to our picks one college game, LSU and Georgia.
We're going to talk about them real quick, briefly. But let's do our one NFL premium pick, unless y'all are going to do a college and a hold off. My NFL premium pick for the week is going to be Todd Gurley's rush yards over whatever. It's probably going to be right at 100, 106 or so, I would guess. So give me Gurley's rush yards over against a weak Jets defense over any spread bet this week. I also would throw that over on the Chiefs game. We'll see. But I'm going to stick with Gurley right now as the premium pick.
My premium pick for this week is a teaser, and it's the Carolina Panthers +5 and the Chargers.
Carolina's a +7. They're a +1 right now.
Okay, Carolina +7, Browns, Chargers over 39.
I like that teaser as well. I think I'm gonna put 100 on that. My premium play this week. Man, looking at all these, there are a lot. I'm gonna have to go with the Panthers. The Panthers +1. That's my premium play. And if y'all want a second one, because I'll give you out two, take those Steelers +3.
My premium play for the week is going to be the Panthers money line. They're an underdog right now, so go ahead and get it in while they're still an underdog. But the Panthers are winning.
All right, so we'll move into college real quick and do a brief review. We had LSU take the first loss of the season last week. I was very disappointed. Could have been a much better game, but I'm going to leave that at that because it was very disappointing. The score was a lot closer than it was. The pick six at the end just made it all the more worse. But talk about Texas and Oklahoma for a minute. Somebody called it last week on the show.
That was
Somebody's
me.
Premium pick, I think.
That was me, Texas.
Texas money line. Texas did the thing.
Thank you for the
Number
shout-out.
19 going into Norman, Oklahoma. That's tough. And the quarterback from Texas, he looked good. He outplayed Murray, and they did the thing there. West Virginia, Matt, what you got on them this week? That's your team. Will Greer's a Heisman candidate. So what happened there?
Yeah, because you don't want me to talk about that.
Oh, man. That game was so sloppy. I'm just glad we were able to pull out the win. That was your worst performance, Will Greer. And I was nervous there for a little second in the first half when y'all couldn't get it in the end zone, having the 3 interceptions inside the 5-yard line. Like, that just can't happen. You want to win the Big 12 and you want to play like that, and don't bank on it.
My game of the week was Texas A&M and Kentucky. Look, Kentucky, you're on the road at A&M, one of the hardest places to play in the nation, and yet you only run Benny Snell 13 times. We're talking one of the most productive backs in all of college football. Benny Snell, 13 carries for 60 yards. That's not how you win big games. You don't win big games doing dumb stuff. Stick to what makes you great. And that's my take on the Kentucky game.
All right, another good game this week was Stanford getting upset at home by Utah. That was a good one. But more notably than that, Mississippi State absolutely destroying Auburn and holding them to 9 points. Auburn failed to score a touchdown versus Mississippi State, whose defense isn't great, but they're good. And that was a big surprise to me. Then we had the Notre Dame game. Anybody watch Notre Dame? It was a good contest versus Virginia Tech, a high-ranked team. If Notre Dame was to lose one game on their schedule within the next coming weeks, it would be this game. So they look good. Ian Book with a second start. He held it down. So we'll jump into next week real quick and give her a quick preview. Starting off with West Virginia versus Iowa State. West Virginia, a 6.5-point spread, 5-0, putting their record up. West Virginia moved up to number 6 this week. Did you see that?
Oh, I definitely saw it. And a 6.5-point spread, that's disrespectful. That is damn disrespectful after one down performance last week. And you're going to give them boys a 6.5-point favorite against bottom of the barrel Big 12? Come on, son.
The spread's 6.5 because West Virginia played the real bottom of the barrel of the Big
Yeah, they
the
did.
Big 12.
They played the worst team in the Big 12
Kansas last week.
and played absolutely terrible.
Maybe-
But
Puka do? How did
Maybe
dude, hey, all right. Speaking on Puka, you brought him up last week. They were talking about how he lost all his toes on one foot in a lawnmower accident. This boy still was the fastest man on the field
Told you.
with no toes on one foot.
Telling you, he's a freak.
That's
he,
crazy.
he didn't find that end zone, did he? Yeah, and I just have to touch on Will Greer, that bad man with 3 interceptions against Kansas. That bad boy.
All right, so I'm gonna jump.
my
this-
take-
oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Caleb. What's your
My
takeaway from
takeaway,
last week?
I gotta say Texas over these Oklahoma Sooners. That impressed me a lot. I mean, I've saw about 15 retweets, tweets, quotes, likes on my tweet line talking about Texas is back. Texas is back. I don't think they're back, but I think that they're better than ever than they have been in the past few years. And Oklahoma, overrated. That's what I've been saying this since week 2. Overrated.
All right, so that'll bring us into the second game that I want to talk about for this week. LSU at home versus Georgia, coming off a loss. I think LSU covers the 7.5-point spread. They're an underdog. And I think LSU gets back on track and absolutely beats Georgia this week. It's going to be close. I think they beat them by 3. It's going to come down to a game of kicks between LSU's kicker Tracy and Goggles for Georgia. Goggles is clutch. Oh, Blankenship for Georgia.
Y'all think
That boy
Goggles
could
is
boot
clutch?
it.
Remember when he shanked the one in the national championship? That's what I think of when I think of him.
He's still
He-
clutch. They
he
wouldn't have made it
Brandon
there if it wasn't
McAnus
for him.
that thing,
they
son.
wouldn't have beat Baker in Oklahoma if
He
it wasn't
Brandon
for him. though.
McAnus that thing, son. Y'all ever seen that dude kick? When he misses, I swear he kicks with his toe.
So what y'all think about Georgia?
Georgia, you have the worst possible scenario that any fan in the nation can think of. I can't think of a more potent team to play than LSU coming off a loss at home in Death Valley. And the only thing I think could be worse is if they were having to play them at night. Because y'all know them Cajuns get rowdy down there, boy. Give me them LSU Tigers 24-10. No pocket passer beats LSU.
Jake Fromm's going
I gotta
down,
go with that. I
baby.
mean, Jake Fromm, he's nice and all, but give me those LSU Tigers. I think that they cover the spread, the +7 for sure. And like he said, coming to Death Valley, I think that was LSU's problem against Florida going to Gainesville. Any home field advantage in college is it works out tremendously for the offensive team, defensive team. It doesn't matter. Like when you have when you have an entire stadium behind you, that's GG. Give me LSU Tigers plus.
All right,
Money line, actually.
Our next
Money
good
line at like a
game
plus
is going to be a
250.
good Pac-12 showdown. No, Matt don't have anything to say about LSU. We'll get on to the next one there. Good Pac-12 matchup. I'm really looking forward to this. Washington going to Eugene versus Oregon. So Washington, Oregon, 2 powerhouses. Give me Washington this week.
me the
I'm
over.
gonna take Washington and the over, as Caleb said.
Yeah, I mean, Washington playing Oregon. Frugier takes Washington. I'm going to have to go against him right here. Let me get Oregon. I want to see what this quarterback is made of against a mediocre defense. The Pac-12 never has really good defense. Washington had good defense last year. That's really about it. But I want to see what this dude's made of. I think they handle their business against Washington.
Did you just say Washington's defense was mediocre? Yeah. Whoa.
Last year it was.
Give me the under and give me Washington.
All right, that's bold there. Matt, you got anything on that game or nah?
What is that over under? If it's anything under 60, because Oregon ain't breaking 24.
You're crazy.
The over-under's 58.
Oh,
Give me
yeah,
that
it'll probably
over.
go over.
All right, next good game we got Penn State, Michigan State. I think Penn State takes it. I'll stay brief on that. It's in Penn, so give me Penn State. Yep. But the next good matchup we got, this is one I'm looking forward to, Big Ten showdown. We got Michigan at home versus Wisconsin. Give me Michigan, but it's going to be close.
Give me them Wolverines too, boy. We're making the playoffs. I told y'all Michigan's making the playoffs. They're They are better than Notre Dame. Notre Dame beat them, but they are better than Notre Dame. Shea Patterson's a dog. It's time to stop running the ball so much. And a quick little shout-out to Harbaugh. I hate you. I took Karen Higdon's player prop last weekend, over 106 rushing yards. He had 97 at halftime and didn't cover in the second half. Shout out to Harbaugh for not running my boy. But anyways, give me the Wolverines and at home, and then they're going to beat Ohio State at Ohio State.
Oh, chill out.
And then
Chill out.
they're going to beat Penn State at Penn State.
Chill out. Chill out.
Michigan.
I do think Michigan wins this game at home. Well, Wisconsin's overhyped this year.
Give me Michigan.
I don't even think
Michigan,
Wisconsin stands a
Flintstone,
chance.
bitch.
All right, who you got, Caleb? Michigan, Wisconsin. In
Michigan.
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 I like the pick. All right, and that's it for college football there. We'll do something new here for the last minute or two. We'll talk about a little UFC news. We got some big updates. John Jones and Gustafson is coming back. I heard they're going to be fighting soon. Daniel Cormier's fighting at 2:30 is the new main event.
Is he fighting Brock Lesnar?
Versus Derek Lewis.
Oh, that's right. I
In
did
1
see
month,
that.
he's about to turn around and fight again.
Derek
And
Lewis
what
is
were
gonna
you
have to do
talking
some
about,
cardio.
Dustin? We had somebody pull out earlier.
Yeah, Dustin Poirier. Poirier? How you say
Poirier.
that? Poirier?
Yep.
Nope, he got hurt in training.
I'd pull out versus Diaz too.
And
Hey, ask me. I never pull out, guys. But I'd pull out fighting Diaz.
I
for
pull out
sure.
every time. but I know one thing I don't do. I don't tap out. That's one thing I don't do.
Okay,
you're
McGregor,
telling me
I don't lose.
You're telling me I'm the main event of the UFC, the most talked about fight in history, and you're telling me I'm tapping out in the fourth round to a chokehold? Put me to sleep, please. No way I would.
Man, I see when I looked in this man when I was watching the fight and I looked in Khabib's eyes, this man was thinking death. He was looking at death. Khabib had something to prove to this man, and I don't think McGregor was ready for it. He talked so much mess, and as I was telling Frank earlier, he went on to say it's just all business, and Khabib was like, hey, guess so. But Khabib had a different look in his face. Honestly, if that ref was not there, Khabib might have killed him. He might have choked McGregor out.
I'm looking forward to both's next fight. Who do y'all think each one's going to fight?
What you mean?
I think Khabib's going to fight Ferguson.
I think Khabib's going to whoop Ferguson's ass.
I do too.
Khabib's going to fight Ferguson, and Conor McGregor is going to fight Nate Diaz.
I think Conor should
he's
move.
Gonna fight,
you know what I think?
He's going to fight Diaz in replace of.
This is going to
Dustin
take y'all
Poirier.
all by surprise, and this is the most logical thing I think for Conor.
Let me hear it.
Conor drops back down to 145 and takes on the winner of Ortega and Holloway for the 145 strap and absolutely destroys Holloway or Ortega.
I want to see him do that simply because if you think of it, McGregor's last 4 fights? Is it his last 4 fights? He only has two wins. He lost to Nate Diaz, then beat Nate Diaz, right, when it went to decision.
Yep.
Lost to Mayweather, comes back after a year, and loses to Habib. He has to get back to winning. So I agree with you. I think he needs to move down to 145.
Or he could fight somebody else at 155 to get ready. I think he could take anybody at 155 besides Khabib.
155. Yeah.
What I would love to see for Khabib, though, if Ferguson's punks out like he did the first time him and Khabib went to fight, is Khabib move up to 170 strap
and not fight Diaz.
and fight Woodley.
That's dumb.
Khabib versus Woodley.
That's dumb. Woodley is way much bigger than Habib.
I don't know, dude.
He doesn't
Khabib
stand a
at
chance,
170,
man.
though.
I don't see it, bro.
Or
That's
do
a
it
whole
catch
20.
weight.
That's a
Do
whole
it-
20 pounds.
Do it
Nick-
catch weight at 165 or
Diaz-
something for
Nick
Woodley
Di-
and Khabib, dude. I'm
Nate
telling you.
Diaz come out. Nate Diaz
Conor
come
went
out
to
and said,
170, so I think Khabib could go to 170 exactly.
I don't think so, bro. I see him getting beat up. That's my point.
170.
There's
And
no
was
way.
Smacking. That
would
is
get
crazy.
beat.
McGregor went from 145, like Dustin just said, to 170 and was slapping the head off fools.
He was.
So Khabib is that kind of monster.
I don't know though. I think if
Woodley, I love Woodley, dude.
Woodley would beat him,
and
bro.
He is a great champion.
And what's crazy is though is that this would be a decent fight. You know why? Because they're both technical.
Yeah.
They both go by the rules. They both fight to the T.
I think Khabib's takedown would be too much for Woodley.
I think
Woodley's a stopper.
He's
a showstopper, just like McGregor is.
He's too big for him, brother. And hold on. All right, to touch on this, Nate Diaz came out and said, "F both of them. I hope they both get knocked out. It's gonna be a double KO." He wasn't on nobody's side. Then Nick Diaz, his brother, come out and said, I think McGregor's got the win, blah, 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 whatever. But he said that Khabib is pretty much, he called him a bitch. He said he couldn't fight. He said he has nothing but a ground game.
He said
has
him
no
and
striking.
His brother would beat Khabib.
Nate Diaz is so slept on in the UFC.
I don't think
that
he
man
can,
is
I
a
don't
beast,
think he can beat Khabib, though.
Dude, he is. He can't get knocked out. He cannot be knocked out. It's crazy.
Khabib Diaz is what you're saying.
I want to see that. I want to see Nate versus Khabib.
He's good.
Thank you.
Nick
I
Diaz
like
is
that.
good, but he hadn't been around in forever. He can't put the joint down.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Nick.
But he'll slap the head off of somebody.
Oh, he will.
Quicker,
he will, no
quicker
doubt.
than Nick.
All right, I'll tell you what I want to see. I want to see Nick Diaz versus Nate Diaz.
Yeah, right.
Just like Hunter Fruchet versus Dustin Fruchet.
And it would be like Nick smacking Nate, the
I'll
older
come
brother.
I'll come to
Nate,
your weight
dog.
class and fight you.
I dare you to drop 60 pounds. I'll catch you at a catch weight.
If this man, if this man drops down, if this man drops down, I'm sorry. Regardless, I'm taking D Fruge, bro. I'm taking Dustin in that one.
Dude, you're tripping. He's
no.
never beat me.
Okay, call me crazy, but if he drops down to cut like that, that's GG.
Dude, I would walk this boy across the yard.
Crazy.
I've had to sleep people for this boy.
But to touch on that,
Dustin is 2-0 in his last two scraps though, so I gotta give it to him.
And look, I'm calling out Frank Cooley right now.
Undefeated, undisputed Frank Cooley in the backyard brawl.
16-0 Frank Cooley. 2 murder charges. Frank Cooley, where you at?
But
Dustin 2-0 against 2 little pimp squeaks and thinks he can step on a big boy's toes.
Oh yeah,
dude, I will catch you I'll move up to whatever weight. I'll eat up.
Please, hey. Viewers, if you saw this man right now, you would say there's no way he's going up to this weight class. This man would have to eat 7 times a day for a year straight to get to that. But anyways,
and I'd still
touching back on the UFC, Tony Ferguson literally said in the interview, McGregor was walking in the back. He said, doing his little strut. And Ferguson's just weird to me. But he's doing his little strut. And he stopped dead in his tracks and looked Ferguson in the eyes. He said, I could see the fear in his eyes. I will tear him up and feed him to the dogs, is what Ferguson had said he would do to McGregor. Ferguson, I'm here to tell you right now, please fight McGregor so I can put my bank account on that. He will beat you 10 times out of 10. And if you want to fight Habib's going to whoop your tail too. I'm sorry.
I think McGregor and Ferguson should be a lead-up fight to Habib.
I wish it would
McGregor
be because
rematch.
McGregor will whoop him. I'm telling you right now.
Anybody got anything else on UFC?
No, not really.
All right, so
let's step into basketball.
Quickly. Woodley's got to get past Covington before he can fight.
Oh, Covington's out there trying to make the welterweight division great again. He said him and Trump are BFFs. Y'all heard about that?
So did Dennis Lewis.
I saw that Derek Lewis. I heard
yeah.
Covington on a press conference. He really cracked me up. He said, I hear Tyron Woodley saying that I'm knocking on the door. I'm not knocking on the door. I'm about to kick the door down. I'm going to run in there. I'm going to knock you out. And I'm going to take the featherweight title or welterweight title and make the welterweight division great again. That's his motto. He said he ain't knocking on the door. He's kicking the door down and coming and ripping Tyron Woodley up out of bed.
The UFC.
I think Woodley knocks
UFC
him out.
needs.
For real?
Yes. Woodley smokes him.
We got to make the UFC vicious again. I can't believe I watched a 4-round fight with no blood. That eats me alive.
Yeah, because 3 of the rounds, 15 minutes of the 20 or 18 minutes the fight was on the ground.
All right,
Boring, dude.
Quick
Boring.
question. Off of UFC, real quick, just a championship preview for NBA. Who you got, Hunter?
I got Boston this year and the Rockets, and I got Rockets taking the dub. Because they're the local, they're my favorite team, and I just got to go with the Rockets. That's actually my favorite out of the East and the West. So,
Steech, what you got?
All right. Rockets are my favorite team. I can't deny that. And I love what they bringing in with Carmelo. James Harden hit 9 threes in the game last night. Give me 27 points. But this Warriors team is too potent. Give me the Warriors coming out the West. Have to take them. There's no way. LeBron, I'm sorry. You're not going to do anything with those Lakers. Too weak. And then I got to agree with him. Gordon Hayward coming back. Jaylen Brown looking good. Scary Terry, and Kyrie at 100%. Give me Boston Celtics versus the Golden State Warriors.
Who you got, Matt?
I'm going to have to agree with y'all. I think I like the Celtics out of the East, but I think it's going to be Golden State again out of the West. I'm tired of Golden State as well, but they'll still beat the Celtics in the
We ain't gotta worry
championship.
about the Cavs this year.
Bro.
What doesn't do, we have to worry about LeBron still.
According to Tristan Thompson, the Cavs are still the team to beat in the East.
Here we go. Not this year. Next year, it'll be Lakers Celtics again in the championship. Because Klay Thompson will be a Laker. But this year, Celtics, no. Toronto.
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 Like a toe on your toe. Not Toronto. Sounds like a Mexican gang or something. Toronto. Get over here, Toronto.
Toronto versus the Golden State Warriors. Give me the Warriors in 4.
Warriors sweep. That's gonna be boring.
Warriors sweep any team they play in the
I
championship.
feel like
this
Vegas
year.
won't let that happen. All right,
70
quick, Dan, one more and we're done here. Your MVP this year.
They're going 82 and 80 and 2 this year.
Basketball MVP this year. Give me the hometown man, Anthony Davis. New Orleans finally his year.
I feel like to be the MVP, you got to be on one of the best teams. Give me Durant.
Durant for MVP.
I would even take, maybe over Davis, I'd take LeBron just because of the new setting. I feel like he's really going to get
That's
some
crazy.
exposure.
Y'all know who I'm taking for MVP? DeAndre Ayton.
You're dumb. Give it to Caleb.
That is look, I'm going out on a limb here. DeAndre Ayton.
Not only a limb, bro,
Is-
you're going off in the Great Canyon.
You're going off the
DeAndre
deep
Ayton.
end.
Grand Canyon, bro.
Unanimous rookie of the year. He's going to average 20 and 13 and 5 assists a game.
And be on a team that gets 25 wins and gets the number one
If
overall
you think
pick
the
again.
Suns are going to suck, you're a retard. The Suns
We'll
aren't going to be
see.
bad. But for real, a real MVP pick, Giannis and I can't even say his last name.
Antetokounmpo. Only reason I know that is because of you, Lil Wayne. Shout out to you. But, yeah, because that man said I got a Greek freak. I call her Antetokounmpo. Yeah, she was crazy.
My God.
But,
he said that on the new album?
No, this is like one of his songs before. I forgot what
So
song it
he
was on.
predicted the future there with him being worth the damn.
He might have. But, give me, for my MVP, I'm taking Brody. I'm taking Russell Westbrook.
Oh, goodness.
With Carmelo not there now, and
Yeah,
him
he could
missing
even score
87
50 a
shots,
night and
him score.
lose in the first round
There you go.
again.
But I'm telling you right now, MVP numbers, give me Brody. I will take Russell Westbrook. And right behind that, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. If he doesn't get it, give me LeBron James. You got to go with the king. Rookie of the year, I like Ayton.
Rookie
Ayton's
of the year, give me
Ayton's a monster.
Donich.
No. He's not. Nah. I honestly, I wasn't high on Donich coming into the NBA. I think that yeah, he balled out the other night. He did really good.
All right, so we're gonna end it there.
Matt, you ain't got no rookie of the year?
I got to agree with Hunter. I got to go with Donich. Woo. I like him.
The Mavs. All right, so we'll end it there, and we'll give another quick shout-out to our sponsor, Legend Gear and Apparel. Go check them out. Within the next week or two, we'll have the customized apparel up. Right now, we got everything else, watches, hats, ties, lots of good gear. So go check them out at legendgear.co and on Instagram and Facebook at Legend Gear Apparel. And we'll see you guys next week. Looking forward to it.